Hello and welcome to another 140k Imperial Guard Tactics video. Now before we get into today's video, I would like to say a huge thank you to Kirill Lubinimov for sending in some awesome pictures of his Death Riders. These guys are absolutely fantastic. Really like the grungy Death Corps of Krieg vibe you've managed to capture so well in these Death Riders. I mean 50 in total, 30 done, 20 more to go. Absolutely fantastic effort. And, you know, we all know that Death Corps of Krieg, Death Riders are the latest hot topic. They're the greatest thing that Guard can take at the moment in terms of melee durability. So whoever you're doing those for, I'm sure is going to be very, very happy because not only are they going to look great, but going to do well on the battlefield as well. So thank you for sending those pictures in, Kirill. If anyone else has got any cool pictures they want me to use in my videos, please post them on my Facebook page or email them to me at mordianglorytv@gmail.com. And don't worry if you're a ogre who hasn't had his bone head surgery yet and you can't remember that, they'll be down in the description below, both the link to the Facebook page and the email address. Now without further ado, let's get into today's video. Now today guys, I want to talk about the new Dark Elder Codex. In fact, this is going to be a bit of a hot take. I'm only going to keep this to 5-10 minutes at most. And what I want this video to be is a little bit of a, what I predict, what I think, my just first impressions of the Dark Elder Codex. It's not going to be a deep dive, there's not going to be a unit by unit. This is going to be a prediction. And maybe if this turns out to be correct, the Commissar will have to blow my brains out for being an unsanctioned psyker, who knows. But this is my impression of the new Dark Elder. I think they're going to be a really all or nothing faction. So I've watched a lot of battle reports with them. I've pretty much watched every single one that you can find on YouTube at the moment. And I've watched a couple of on-demand ones from various on-demand channels in terms of tactics and stuff like that. And I've also, I'm fortunate enough that my brother is a Dark Elder player and he has been able to, via his support bubble, already have almost half a dozen games of Dark Elder under his belt, which is fantastic. So not only do I have sort of accounts from the front line of people that I know directly who have played games, but I've also watched a lot of third-party research. So I've done my research, I've tried to make this an informed take. And when I say all or nothing, I literally think it's going to come down to first turn. Every battle report that I've seen Dark Elder go first, they've won. They've won hard. It's been over turn 2. It's been over turn 3. Okay. Every single battle report, every single battle that I've heard of them going second, it's been the same, but they've lost by turn 3, turn 4. Okay. So I think it's going to be a really, I don't know, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about it, but I think it could be a really, potentially, for the time being, unsatisfying army. Because either you're going to absolutely smash your opponent in 2 turns, and if you're into that kind of thing, if you're into just absolutely dominating your opponent, then you will love this army every single time that you go first, because there's a very good chance that you're going to be all over them. However, if you go second, you are very likely to fall apart. And it why is this happening? What is my evidence for this? Okay, well, like I said, I've talked to people who have played it firsthand, and I've watched a lot of battle reports. But why do I think it's this way? I think Games Workshop may have dialed up 2 things that are quintessentially Drukari, but dialed them up a bit too far. So they've made them really killy. You know, their dark light weaponry, things like blasters, things like the heat lances, things like dark lances. Okay, I'm not sure if heat lances are dark light weaponry, but anyway, forgive me. Their traditional anti-tank weapons, blasters, dark lances, and heat lances, have all been made super reliable. Okay, they've all got at least damage 3 plus D3, or I think in the case of the heat lance it's damage 2 plus D6. But the point is they're always hitting hard. There's none of this, you roll the dice, you get a 1 and it's only 1 damage. It's always doing 3 damage. It's always doing 4 damage minimum, which means it only takes a couple of, on average, it will only take you a couple of blasters to kill something like a Lehman Russ, which is meant to be a very durable vehicle. So they are really, really killy, and they're really, really reliable. Everyone's got an additional attack across the board. Everyone's got extra AP across the board, and everyone is just really fighty and killy and great. But they have also kind of dialed up the fragility that is quintessentially Dark Elder. Okay, the removing the feel no pain is a big deal, okay? Because it basically makes them 16% less durable overall. Okay, now they've got really, really fighty, but if you've reduced, in an edition where durability is so important and everyone is getting more and more durable, every other faction out there so far, everything that we've seen that's Marine equivalent or Marine has been given extra wounds in various places and extra toughness. You know, we're seeing toughness 5, we're seeing damage reduction, we're seeing extra wounds everywhere. Okay, so in an edition where everyone else is getting, let's say, 16% tougher, if you've become 16% weaker, and obviously we're talking broad generalizations here, but if you've got weaker and everyone else has got tougher, it's a double doozy. It's not like you stayed the same and everyone else has got better, which is just a single slap with a wet fish. But if you've got more fragile and everyone else has got tougher, then it's a wet fish on both cheeks. It's a double slap. It's 2 halibuts. And so that's what I think the problem is. And so you have Dark Elder who are super killy, okay, and super reliable damage output, both in shooting and in combat, okay? And so if they go first, they've got such speed that they will get to you and they will do bad things to you. And if they get turn 1, they are going to hurt you. But if you get turn 1 on them, bear in mind, you can't hide everything. If you look at those Dark Elder vehicles, those Raiders are the new hot topic, right? If you look at Raiders, it's quite hard to hide them. They're real long. They're long, slender boys, okay? And so you can hide some of them, and you can hide a lot of them, but considering there's no cover for vehicles anymore, something I only learned recently, thank you to my subscribers, but there's no cover for vehicles anymore. Now, sure, they've got a little tougher. Toughness 6 is okay, but you know, they haven't got feel no pain on their vehicles anymore or anything like that. And so what you've got is you can't hide everything, and you've also got smaller board sizes. Now, smaller board sizes work in both ways. For the Dark Elder, going first, a smaller board size means you can't escape them. They're going to get you and they're going to hurt you. They're going to take to Comorra, and we don't want to think about what's going to happen to your butthole when you get to Comorra. But on the flip side, if you're a Dark Elder player, smaller board sizes means you can't hide as easily. You can't cram your fleet of 10 raiders behind, or I'm not even exaggerating, 6 to 10 raiders is pretty normal. I think 6 is normal, and then you've got other stuff. But you know, we're talking a serious dark fleet here, serious night fleet. You can't hide all those vehicles. And even if you can, people have got a lot of indirect fire these days. I mean, people take a lot of indirect fire because of large L-shaped line of sight blocking terrain. So you can't hide, and that means people, and the smaller board sizes, so you can't backline as easily because everyone's rocking long ranges and smaller board sizes, and so you are going to get destroyed. And so on the battles, when I was talking to Johnny, he managed to play several games with the new Codex, and he said he played 3 games, I should say. In the 2 games that he went first, he killed his opponent in 2 turns. Literally, end of turn 2, combat phase, he tabled his AdMech opponent. When the AdMech opponent went first in the 3rd game they played, he didn't. Johnny was tabled by turn 3. He was just tabled. He was just gone. And if you look at Tabletop Tactics battle reports, if you look at the other battle reports out there, you see the same thing. The Dark Elder going first is absolutely menacing. But if you, and I don't mind plugging other channels because I'm not monetized and I have no affiliation with them. I'm just telling you where I've been looking. But I've referred to them a lot because they are seen as, you know, they're quite very, very popular battle reports. But if you look at the latest Tabletop Tactics battle report, highly recommend you check it out. Even though the Dark Elder went first, and they did a real number on the Death Guard in the first 2 turns. In the first turn, when the Death Guard hit back, by the end of the game, after the dust had settled, even the Dark Elder dominated. They only had like a third of their forces left, maybe. So even when they had the advantage, they were super flimsy. You can see that showing through. So it's a real interesting one. So my hot take on this is that it's going to be a really weird one to play. We'll have to see how it settles. But I think as good as the firepower is from the things like the Cabal, and as good as the damage output and the melee is from things like the Witch Cult, I think that Dark Elder players may be forced to lean on the Homunculus Covens heavily, because that's where the durability lies. Okay, that is where it lies. And I think witches are just too damn fragile. They've got they're so glass hammer, but they're too glass hammer. They kill themselves when they go off, because if you charge a squad of 5 or 10 witches into even on a unit of guardsmen, you know, they're going to lose half the number going in. You know, especially if the one time Mordian 9 guard might be good is when you're overwatching them against a bunch of witches who are trying to get in on you. If someone's got a few flamers, they're going to do horrible things to you. Okay, so witches are fragile. Cabals are probably okay because they've got slightly tougher troops, but still, it's going to be tough. And I'm really... my hot take is, if they go first, they win. If they go second, they lose. And I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I don't know what that means for the player base. Does it make them very unsatisfying? Does it make them too black and white? Does it make them too hit and miss? Too swingy? I don't know. I think time will tell, and I think it's a bit early to make broad sweeping generalizations. I think what we see now could be very different in the future, but this is what I am seeing currently. It'll be interesting to see where this settles. Okay, but what do you guys think? Are any of you unfortunate enough to have managed to go second against the Dark Elder yet? Did you win, or did you get crushed? Is your own research led you to the similar conclusions, or am I talking complete rubbish? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.